Hey guys, John here, and today I'm in Spain, at Barcelona, at Bauhaus, a massive hardware store here. Now I thought Bauhaus was just a German hardware store. Turns out they've got them other places too, and they've got one here. Pretty busy in Barcelona at the minute, and I'm wondering, what kind of tools does a city centre hardware store have? Anything special, anything interesting? Well, I can tell you now, there's going to be some cool stuff in there, because it's a massive store. Let's go and have a look. Here we go, straight into tools, and you can tell you're in a city. So much more compact here. Barrel will do well. You know things are good when they're in barrels. Definitely have more tools, Bauhaus, than anywhere else. And yeah, they're not messing about. Bauhaus Barcelona. 4, 5, 6. We need 6 of those. That is a solid start. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Tischlerwinkel. And it's not entirely the German stuff because they've got Balota, which is Spanish made. It's an interesting shaped trowel, isn't it? Bauhaus pencils, toolboxes, and lots of them. This was definitely worth a visit. Here we go, they've got Stanley Pro Stack, T-Stack, all the stuff we recognise. Even for a city centre store, look at this. Loads of tool cabinets, loads of choice. Bauhaus socks. Into the more classic hand tools. That's a big old magnetic toolbar. Kinzo. I do quite like magnetic toolbars. Got some nice Nipex stuff. Wisent. Always quite like the Fiskars too. We've had a few good Fiskars bits over the years. Didn't know they made aviation snips though. I thought they were made mainly gardening tools. 40% more power with these aviation snips. Got like a little step on them here. What's that about? Bolt cutters for £5.99. That's pretty good, isn't it? £5.99, £5.49 for a little pair of bolt cutters. They're nicely labelled, aren't they? You're not going to mix that one up. What is that thing? The Skrapr, the ultimate surface scraper. See, that's in English. Ah, fabric of Canada, product of Canada. Bloody hell, you don't get products of Canada very often. Oh, we're on a roll now, finding a few good bits. Hammers, some French form, lots of Stanley. Any unusual knives, got a big knife section, far more knives than you'd get in any other, well certainly in any UK store. You usually get 1 or 2. And I've seen this knife before. It's like a safety knife, you use it on your wetsuit with a little plastic sheath. A Bauhaus special. It's the old foam saw. I do like that, I think we need to get one of those, because can that cut shadow foam? That's designed for cutting foam, and you'll see insulation. I reckon that'd cut shadow foam like a beauty. And the old Bauhaus special. Oh hello, the Workhouse. That's one of those big chonking chisel knives. What's that for? Bauhaus toolbox. Is that the toolbox we need to put a foam insert in? Ah, a toilet brush on a bit driver. When are these coming to the UK? More Gerber. Cool, isn't it? I've not seen these Gerber utility knives before. They do seem a bit different. Usually they're all fixed blade knives or utilities. Wouldn't mind having a look at those. These two. These? These, both. Thank you. Gracias. Not seen that brand before. Matador. It sounds very Spanish, doesn't it? Matador, but it's not. It's a German one. Thought that was going to be one of my Spanish tools, that Matador. Thought that'd have been a good one for the Spanish collection. That's a bit of a weird one there. Just on its own, on the side. It's a Bosch level with a bit holder built in. Where is that? Where's that from? It was just sat on the side. There's a couple of Bosch bits down here, but not one of those, so I have no idea what the price is. We're gonna have to see what the price is on that at the till. If it's a fortune, I'm leaving it. That's me finished in Bauhaus, nice and cool in there. Big bag of stuff, some interesting bits too. I'm sure every store is different. And this is the perfect example. Bauhaus, German store, loads of interesting bits. Let's get back to UK and have a look through it all. Right, so I'm fresh back from Spain, got a load of cool stuff from Bauhaus in Barcelona, and I've never been to a hardware store right in the middle of a city. This thing was pretty heaving, but they still had loads of tools, loads of interesting bits, different from the Bauhaus in Cologne, and that is the first thing to mention really. I picked up some more Zoll stocks, as I always do, always on the hunt for some Zoll stocks for the collection, and they had the same one in Cologne, the Bauhaus wooden Zoll stock, but with Barcelona on it, and it's kind of setting me up for like a sub-quest now. I'm collecting Zoll stocks, if you didn't know. I think I'm up to 41 Zoll stocks, so the Barcelona Barcelona will be my 42nd, and it's my second city, so I'm feeling like, do I need to go around all the Bauhauses now and try and pick up all of these? I don't know how many Bauhauses there are, but let me know in the comments if you're in Europe and you've got a local Bauhaus, which city are you in? Which Zollstock do they have? And if you do drop a comment, you'll be entered to win that. The only other thing you've got to do is subscribe to the channel, and go and subscribe to our second channel, Shadow Phone Plus. If you didn't know about that, we've got more videos coming out now, all about the latest news, new toolboxes, anything exciting that's happening is going to be over at Shadow Phone Plus. So make sure you subscribe to that and you'll be entered into the giveaway. I've got a few other things to go in there, but we'll get to those as we do. That was a pretty cool trip out to Barcelona, and on the way I saw some Brazilian bum bum cream. Now that might sound totally random unless you've seen our Amazon returns palette, where I pulled that out of one of the return packets, and it just seemed like a random mental item to me, but in the airport it was 44 quid, which I couldn't believe. And speaking of Amazon returns, we went to a little seaside resort called Angeles Plag. I'm butchering that name, but in the middle of their little seaside resort was a full Amazon return setup where people can go rooting through pallets and picking out their own. So have you ever done one of those? Let me know in the comments if you've seen that, because I was very tempted to just get the camera out and film a full video. But we do have another Amazon return pallet planned, so also let me know if you want to see more of that stuff. All those comments get entered to win. So let's get into the tools, actually starting with a toolbox. So I didn't get any footage of this because it was a last second pickup. I found this Wisent toolbox. They only had one left actually, and it wasn't in the toolbox section. And this thing is the Wisent B box. Whenever I'm out and about looking in tool stores, I'm always looking for interesting new toolboxes. And this one is Bauhaus's brand, but it's made in Germany. And I've seen a lot of different toolboxes made in a lot of different places, but never anything made in Germany. And this thing is pretty solid. So as we do, I brought it home. I've already mapped it out and made a shadow foam insert for it. These are now available on the website, so you can head to shadowfoam.com, pick up inserts if you've got this system, or maybe you've got it rebranded. I've never seen this particular shape before, but we've got inserts now on shadowfoam.com in all the different colours. So as I go through all the quirky tool pickups, I'll lay them out on there and I can show you how the shadow foam works at the end. So let's get into my top 5 pickups from Bauhaus, starting with number 5. Right, so number 5 on the list is this beastie little knife from Wisent. So this is a Bauhaus brand, and the thing that drew my eye is firstly the shape. Obviously it looks a bit mental. It looked like some sort of fish gutting knife to me, but it's got pictures of insulation, cutting insulation. So as soon as I see something like that, I'm thinking, can that cut shadow foam? Which is exactly the plan. It does look pretty lethal, doesn't it? But can it cut shadow foam? I'm not going to cut my insert actually. I'll keep that for my Bauhaus box. But I've got a little bit of a Skrapr foam. Can it cut this? Let's have a see. Well, I can pretty comprehensively say it cuts foam really well, but can it cut a straight line? That is pretty much the main thing, because I don't want to just be able to cut up scrap with it. I want to think, can I convert a sheet down with it? So let's give that a go. It's like it'd be good for cutting up scrap. Well, to be honest, I'd say I much prefer a knife because I can just run it smooth, I don't have to saw. But for cutting up scrap, or maybe rough cutting things to size, not too bad. I can see why they use it for insulation, because it's going in a wall, it doesn't really matter as much. So I think I'll stick it in the top drawer and see if I can come up with a use for it. But pretty happy with that as number 5. Let me show you number 4. So number 4 on the list is something made in Canada. Now that's something I don't say very often. We don't have many Canada tools. I do have one, the auto loader, and we've still got some auto loaders. If you want your very own amazing quirky tool, we've got this with shadow foam written on it. This is an auto loader screwdriver, and this is the only other tool I know that's made in Canada. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've got a second tool now, and that is the Skrapr. This thing is called the Skrapr and the Skrapr Junior, and for me it's a kitchen utensil, but it was proudly hanging in the tool aisle. So for me that makes it quirky, and it's a high heat scraper made in Canada. I didn't realise that was metal. I thought that was plastic, to be honest. I thought that was a chunk of plastic. That is a metal handle, but it must be like Teflon coated or something. It's even got like a moulding line on it. Not sure about that. Let me know. That's number 4. Let me show you number 3. So number 3 on the list was another Bauhaus special. This thing caught my eye because it's just kind of a simple Bauhaus knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Not very expensive, and you'd have assumed this kind of thing was made in China, but no, this one is made in Sweden, which I just thought was quite nice to see. An own brand tool. It's not very expensive. You can pick it up for not too much money at the tills, and it's a Swedish made Mora. So you might recognise that brand, Mora. They're famous for making these handy knives. I do go camping quite a lot, and I thought that is the ideal little camping knife. I think Bauhaus are doing it right. Rather than going for like something really cheap from China that's not particularly special, they've gone for a Mora blade with their own brand on. So I love that. I thought that was really, really cool. Quite a simple pickup. That's number 3 on my list. Let me show you number 2. And this was very close to being the top spot, to be fair, but I did find something even better. This thing was just on the bottom shelf. There was no price on it. There was only one of them, and it looks quite old. It's quite an old school bit of Bosch packaging, this, and I'd never seen anything like it. This is like a torpedo level, again by Bosch, so it's a pretty known brand, isn't it? Pretty up there with the tool brands, and it's a torpedo level with a load of screwdriver bits built in. Have you ever seen a torpedo level? Maybe you've got this one. Not a bad idea. There's a lot of dead space on these levels. I was hoping from the picture that you press a button and they pop up. Sadly, this one doesn't. You've kind of got to push that little notch in and it pops up. I'm also never a big fan when you put a D-loop in the actual item. Like, that is purely there for in a retailer, they can put it on the shelf. Like, why is that any benefit to the customer? That is mental. And the paint finish is a bit sus. Whoever painted that, there's a big paint run right in the middle of my level. That is bonkers, isn't it? So before we get to number 1 on the list, I've got a few other things from Bauhaus and the surrounding area. So I popped into a local builder's merchant and had a look around their tools, and they had Ironside, which was a new brand on me, and I picked up a Zollstock. I'm always looking to add to the Zollstock collection, so that'll be 43, my 43rd Zollstock, including the Barcelona, because I did pick up a Barcelona one for me as well. So I've got 5 for the giveaway, 1 for my collection. I got an Ironside one, and then this is basically like a tracer. It's like a replaceable lead pencil, which it was on like a clearance table in the middle of this builder's merchant. Oh, that's hilarious. Right, okay, so that's a bit of a waste of a pickup. There you go. Sometimes you live and learn, don't you? Doesn't that look like a pen? Well, actually, that's just refills for the pen. That's your refill holder. In my head, there's a picture on the box. What a scam, I've been scammed. There's a picture on the box of a pencil, and you can see the tip there, and I assume this was the cap, and it pulls off, and then you put the lead in the end, and you're off to the races. But instead, that's just pictures of what it could look like if you had the other piece of the puzzle. All I have now is a pack of Ironside refills, so they're handy, aren't they? You know, at some point, maybe I'll stumble across an Ironside pen. So I got those, but the main thing was I got an Ironside Zollstock, so that's a positive, and it wasn't too much. I would have got 5, but they didn't have 5. Also picked up a Connect Zollstock from Bauhaus, so that's another one of the brands. It's like a Bauhaus own brand. They didn't have that one in the German Bauhaus. We also got a few other items for the giveaway, so I got some Bauhaus carpenter's pencils, and then on top of that, look at these little things I got from the till. The smallest little adjustable spanner I've ever seen, and not too bad. Quite a nifty little thing that goes on your keys. Sometimes the best tool is the tool you've got with you, so having a little adjustable spanner on your keys is not too bad. I got 5 of those. I thought that was pretty nifty. And that's with the giveaway too. So once again, if you want to get entered into that, just drop a comment. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and Shadow Phone Plus. You'll be entered into that giveaway. So that's the other bits for the giveaway sorted. Let me show you my top pick from Bauhaus. So number 1 on the list is an item from Gerber, and it's not one, but 2 utility knives. Now, you see Gerber all over the world, but you don't see it very often in the UK in shops. And in Germany and in France and in Spain, where we were, quite often you'll see a Gerber cabinet. Now, in the last couple of Gerber cabinets, I've not seen these 2, and that's a utility knife. Now, I love a good quality utility knife, and I couldn't decide on which one of these was the most interesting looking, so I just bought them both, and I thought I could bring them back, and we can have a look and see if they offer anything special, if they bring anything to the market. But let's have a look what's different about them. So, first thing, this one's called the EAB Light, and this one's called the Edge Tack Hide. Let's have a look at them. So, we'll start with the Edge Tack Hide, and that is about as standard as a knife as you'd ever get, I reckon. That's a plastic hollow body on there, which is quite disappointing. Even if that was a solid chunk of plastic, it'd feel more sturdy. It's not a bad grip on it, and it says it's got a US patent, and I'm assuming what they patented here is this little release mechanism, which is pretty nice, but they all have something similar. That's not very special, to be honest. This one looks a bit more special because it's so compact. Firstly, it doesn't look like a utility knife, so it's quite discreet. It's really, really slim, and that just feels nice. That feels quality. This one's here a bit cheap and nasty, but that is cool. But it's got a money clip. That's funny, isn't it? It's not something you see in the UK very often. Surely that's a belt clip. Well, maybe you're clipping your money in it. They're both lifetime warranty, which is pretty cool. I mean, that one might last you a lifetime. I reckon that plastic handle there is going to split apart the first time you drop it. Designed and engineered in Oregon, made in China. It's all stainless steel. Well, that is definitely the best one of the 2. That one there is a bit of a fail, but this one is a little beauty. I really like that. That is definitely a cool top pick. So that is it, the Gerber EAB Light. That's my favorite. So that's going in the foam. I will put the other one in the foam too. This is the layout of all my top picks from Bauhaus in the Wisent insert. So finally, let me show you how easy it is to organize with Shadow Foam. And if you didn't know already, Shadow Foam is the ultimate toolbox organizer. It makes organizing any toolbox, whether it's a plastic modular system like this, or whether it's a beastie roll cab like this, whatever tools you've got, whatever toolbox system you've got, you can buy a piece of Shadow Foam from shadowfoam.com, and you can organize your tools exactly how you want them perfectly, and all you've got to do is cut around the shapes and peel it back. And let me show you how easy that is with all of these tools. So when it comes to cutting shadow foam, all you need is one of our cutting kits. Now these come free with most orders from shadowfoam.com, and they've got anti-cut gloves in. As you can see, I'm wearing one here, and they do come as a pair of gloves. I usually just wear the one glove on the hand that I'm holding the item with. This is the one in the danger zone. And we've also got a scalpel, blades, forceps for putting the blades on the handle. Everything you need basically comes free with most orders. So let's start with this crazy looking torpedo level. You put it wherever you want it to be and use the scalpel to just cut around the item. You're literally just using the scalpel like a pencil and just capturing the silhouette of the item. You're not cutting very deep, you're literally just drawing around it. And the scalpels are nice and sharp, so it's nice and quick. Once you've gone all the way around, you take the item out of the way and we just go back around again and make sure that we've cut down deep enough. So we only want to peel out 10 mils worth of foam for that torpedo level, just so it sits flush to the top. So you want to make sure that we've cut past 10 mil. So I'm cutting down to about 15, 20 mil here. Once you've done that, all you've got to do now is peel out the layer. So you just push your finger down one end, you kind of hook it towards yourself, you just kind of find a seam and hook your finger around it, and then you can just start pulling the foam back towards yourself. And then once you can get a few more fingers underneath, it's easier to have a bit of a better grip, and then you just chase it along. You don't kind of peel it from one end like a banana, you kind of chase it along like that. And it is as simple as that to get all your tools organized. And literally that level slots in there now, and you'll always know where it is. If that's your toolbox and that's your level, you'd always know if it was missing, and to return all your tools back where they came from. It's got a nice snug location, and it's as quick as that. And if you want to give it a try, we've got starter kits available on the website in any color you want. We've got shadow foam in loads of different colors. The starter kit includes the cutting kit, it includes a big box full of foam, and if you get the starter kit from the link in the description, you also get a free shadow foam Zolstock. My love for Zolstocks has gone to our very own Zolstock, the shadow foam version, which has got red ends and shadow foam on both sides. So go and grab yourself a starter kit. Links in the description. That's how you cut shadow foam. Let me cut the rest in. So there we go, all finished. I'm pretty happy with that. Just shows you how simple it is to cut shadow foam. It didn't take very long at all, that, probably about 7 or 8 minutes. And all the items are nice and smooth on the bottom. And I could have fit a lot more in here, to be fair. And in a box like that, to be fair, these come in twin packs, and I could have had 2 layers of tools. And I'm pretty happy with the B-Box too. B-Box sounds like some sort of subwoofer sound system, doesn't it? But this is a German-made toolbox, and the insert slots in there perfect like that. And I reckon with 2 layers, that would make a pretty smart toolkit. What was your favourite item out of these 5? Which one stood out to you? Let me know in the comments and you will be entered into that giveaway. And I think everybody needs a Zolstock. So make sure you don't miss out. Drop a little comment down below about tools. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and Shadow Foam Plus. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.